Hello everyone, welcome to our Market Alert video for today, which is June 27, 2025. And as you can see, this Market Alert video is coming to you from the beautiful state of Colorado. And so we're going to go inside and talk a little bit about what's going on in the economy and how it affects our investments and all of that good stuff. But before we did that, I thought I'd give you a little Colorado Zen moment. You're welcome.
Retirement Planners of America, RPOA.com.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And I hope this video finds you healthy, wealthy, and wise. And welcome to our weekly Market Alert video for today, which is June 27, 2025. I am Ken Moraif. I'm the founder and CEO of Retirement Planners of America. And we have a singular goal, and that is to create as many SCWPS as we possibly can. And in case you don't know what SCWPS are, SCWPS is the acronym for Second Childhood Without Parental Supervision. When our clients retire, we want them to go play, have fun, enjoy, and that's what we're all about. So we got some bad news. In fact, a plethora of bad news. And because of that, we think we're going to start hearing recession words bandied around a lot going forward. So let's dive into the boring financial stuff and talk about what we should do about it and how it's going to affect us. And in fact, what is the bad news? So the first thing that we saw was gross domestic product, which is the sum total of all the goods and services produced in the United States. Well, it went down for the first time in 3 years. That's not a good sign. And so we don't want that to continue. One reading does not make a recession, but certainly a bad reading is not a good thing. The other two data points that we got that are not good, one is consumer spending and the other is consumer income. And what we saw in both of those regards was they both went down. So the consumer, which is 70% of our economy, and drives profits of most of the companies in this country, and therefore drives the stock market, both declined. The consumer spending and their disposable income declined. Not a good thing. Add on top of that inflation. Inflation went up 2.3 to 2.6%. Nothing to get overly excited about. And in the scope of things, 2.3, 2.6 is not bad, but the trend is that it's rising. And it may be that the tariffs are finally starting to make their way through the economy and are pushing inflation up. So if you have higher inflation, you have consumers with less income and they're spending less, those are not good things and could lead to a recession. So one of the things that you may know if you've watched our videos and our podcasts, then you know that our philosophy is that growth is important, but protection of principal is even more important. You know, we work with people who are over 50, who are retired, or who are retiring soon. And if you fit that demographic, then for you, large losses are not something that we think you should buy and hold through because you've got 20 or 30 years to make it up. You don't. And so protecting your principal is important. Now, one of the things that is philosophically our way of viewing the world is that during the good times, you want to be preparing for the bad times. And during the bad times, you want to be preparing for the good times. So you don't want to get caught up in the good times and think they're going to last forever, or conversely, that the bad times are going to last forever either. So we've had 2.5 years of good times. The economy's done well, investments have done well, GDP's done well. All the signs of a good economy have been improving over the last 2.5 years pretty much. Well, now we may be seeing that trend reversing. So the time now is to start thinking about what happens if bad times come. And of course, our philosophy is that growth is important, but protection of principal is even more important. If you're within 5 years of retiring, or you're in the first 5 years of your retirement, if you're in that decade, we call that the single most important decade of your entire financial life. If you take a big loss during that period, it could impair your ability to retire. It could impair your ability to stay retired. All bad things that we want to avoid if we can. Now, our philosophy, our invest and protect strategy, as you guys know, helped us to get out and protect our clients for all of 2008 during the second worst bear market in our history. During 2008, we were in cash the entire year. Our clients that followed our advice were. And so we didn't lose any money in the stock market during that year. And more recently, in 2022, for those of you who've been following us, you're aware that we said to sell early into the worst bond bear market perhaps in history. And then also we avoided many of the losses that came in the stock market that year as well. So our goal is to protect you from the downside, because the important thing you have to remember is that if your investments are on a smooth ride, then if you're taking money out, then it's not as big of a deal as if your investments are doing this, if they're having a big swing. Because on those big down periods, what happens is that you're selling more and more shares to get the same income. And farmers call that eating your seed corn. And if you do enough of that, then when growth season comes, guess what? You ain't got nothing left to plant. So right now, we think that it is important to start thinking about the potential for recession in bad times. We're not calling for it. We're not saying it's going to happen. In fact, this year we think the likelihood is pretty small, but prudent people should start planning for that eventuality. So that's where we are. I encourage you to go to our website, RPOA.com, and get a free visit, a complimentary visit with one of our retirement planners. We'd love to visit with you and help you to build a plan to either get you to retirement or protect you during your retirement. So thanks for watching this video. I hope it found you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Share it with your friends and family. Make sure you like and subscribe. And also make sure that you watch our podcasts. We've had over 300,000 views over the last 12 months. Incredible. You need to make it 300,001. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon.
Retirement Planners of America.